And hello, everybody, and welcome to an edition here of Gridiron Gabbin on NFLGridironGab.com and also over at Texans Gab. We're talking right now with a good old friend from down in Houston, Steve McKinney, offensive lineman, former offensive lineman with the Houston Texans, and going to talk a little bit about the new Roadster, the new Spyder Roadster today as well. Steve, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Good to catch up with you a little bit and talk a little bit about what's going to be taking place over the weekend, the NFL Draft. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about BRP, the Spyder Roadster. You're out there in Houston right now doing some promotion for that. Give us a little background on that. I understand you're a big-time advocate of this new product out on the market. Tell us a little about it, Steve.
Yeah, I'm a big outdoors enthusiast, first of all, and I love, riding four-wheelers and off-road vehicles of that nature. And the Can-Am Spyder Roadster kind of fits my personality perfect because it's basically like a four-wheeler that you can drive on the roads, and it gives you that same kind of experience as riding a motorcycle or a convertible sports car, and in a much safer environment than actually driving a two-wheeled motorcycle, because there's two wheels in the front of it, so it's a lot safer and more stable. It's really a lot of fun to ride. It really is.
Sounds like a great time, and of course it's made by BRP. It's again the Can-Am BRP. Now you're involved with that company, or what part of it do you play, Steve?
No, the only part I play is I'm a satisfied owner of one.
Satisfied customer. There you go. Right.
Right.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And don't forget, you can also test drive the Spyder Roadster over the weekend. On Friday, the Pro Power Sports of Conroe, you can test drive it there. On Saturday, Team Mancuso South, you can go ahead and test drive it there as well. And if you do have a motorcycle license, they'll actually take you on the road with this bad boy, get you out there for 30, 40 minutes, and you can test drive it again Friday, Saturday. This is if you're down in the Houston area. Definitely check it out. Again, Steve McKinney, former lineman for the Texans, catching up with him a little bit, talking about the Spyder Roadster. Steve, give me a little background. Where are you right now? Obviously, your NFL playing career, you still have an interest in getting back out there, and you talking to anybody? How are you doing with that?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just that time of year before the draft where, I'm just working out, staying in shape, ready to go when I get a phone call, and I think once the draft's over and teams are kind of settling on their roster a little bit, that's when we'll probably hear something at that point. Are you
definitely then assuming at some point in 2009 you'll be on a roster? I mean, is there really any question in your mind that you're still, to a point where you're definitely going to be playing somewhere in 2009?
Well, for me, it has to be the right fit. I'm not just going to go play just because somebody calls and wants to pay me. I'm not interested in that at this point. If somebody calls, it just has to be a good fit. I have to like the organization and the coaching staff and the team that they put together to want to really get back out there and continue punishing my body the way I have.
Yeah, no question about it. Tell me a little bit about, your past experience with the Texans. Obviously, it's a team that a lot of people feel is on the rise. Last year getting off to a slow start, 0-4, and things kind of fell apart quickly, but by the end of the year, the Texans were playing as good as football as anyone. Talk a little bit about that in your time in Houston.
Oh, I had a great time playing for Houston. I mean, I loved it. Being from here, obviously it's a great city and a great organization and some of the best fans in the world. So I always enjoyed it. And, I think the Texans had a good chance this year. I mean, they're a good football team. They got the talent, good coaching staff. It's just going to be a matter of them being able to win those games that they're supposed to win, and the games that they have won, and not letting them slip away there at the end. I mean, last year they had a few games like that, and every year in the off season, we can all sit here and say, well, we should have won this one, and we had this one, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only thing that they remember is how many games you won and how many you lost. So if they can keep things on track this year and be consistent, and stay healthy, they got as good a shot as any team to be in the playoffs.
Again, we're talking with Steve McKinney, former lineman for the Texans, former NFL lineman, of course, and also big advocate of the new Spyder Roadster. Again, you can check it out Friday, Saturday, Pro Power Sports of Conroe, Saturday, Team Mancuso South, again, down in the Houston area. Steve, obviously the draft this weekend, something you're keeping your eye on. Any thoughts on the upcoming draft? Certainly, the NFL does a phenomenal job in getting everybody ready for it. Some big players coming out, and some big offensive linemen. Last year we saw Jake Long, the #1 pick in the entire draft. This year, a lot of talk about Jason Smith, guys like Eugene Monroe. It seems like, teams around the league are finally realizing if you don't have good offensive line, you're not going to go very far.
Well, yeah, especially that left tackle position. I mean, every team knows that the only way they're going to get that Pro Bowl type left tackles to draft them. Because once a team gets a big, left tackle like that, they don't let them go. They keep them locked up here. So teams realize that, and that's why they've become very popular early in the draft, is because that's really the only place you can find them, unless you trade, half your team for one. So, and they're important. It is important to protect the quarterback's blind side, and they're always, in every passing situation, going to be going against the other team's best defensive pass rushers. So, you got to have a good one out there.
Are you surprised, a guy like Jake Long, obviously the talent oozing out of him coming out of college, but, is there a time frame that, you really should look for an offensive lineman that it takes to adjust to the pro game? How long did it take you to go from, one level to another, per se, as far as being able to make that adjustment?
Oh, it definitely takes a year or so. Your first year is your rookie season. You're going to struggle. You're going to learn a lot, but you're definitely going to make some mistakes and things. But, that's just part of growing as a player. You do that when you go from high school to college, and same thing from college to the pros. It just takes just a little bit of an adjustment period. And, I think that once I was in my second year is when I could definitely feel a big jump from just knowing what to do. The game kind of slows down for you, because when you first start the game, everything's just moving in fast motion. And, once you've repped everything enough and seen the different defenses enough times, and the game sort of slows down for you, and it makes it a little bit easier.
Again, we're talking with Steve McKinney, former offensive lineman for the Texans. Steve, we appreciate it, my friend. You enjoy that the Spyder Roadster. So be careful on it for sure. We appreciate you coming on, and I know we'll see you on a roster sometime in 09.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Take care. Okay, again, it's Steve McKinney, former lineman of the Texans.